morning and welcome. Hey, for those of you in the ag industry, sorry for the late day. I know it's probably halfway through your work day already and you're anxious to get back to work. So we're glad you're here. Every time I stand in front of one of these, I feel, well, after this weekend, I feel like either Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady saying, yeah, we got our butts kicked and no, I'm not retiring. But it feels like one of those post-game backdrops. But Kelsey asked me a question last week about our history of the chamber and the ag committee. She said, well, when was our ag committee developed and how old is the chamber? And fortunately, I knew we had this 100th anniversary celebration, which was from 1991. So we're 131 years old. And 131 years ago, it wasn't the Gazette at the time, but however they talked about the chamber back then, talked about the success. Some of the first thing they mentioned is an early success of the chamber being the Dry Farming Congress that we were able to secure coming to Billings. And then of the 7 committees and activities that we were celebrating in a couple of our earlier years, they called out securing the sugar beet factory in the partnership with the chamber was a big success. That was number 1. Number 2 was advancing irrigation. Number 3, lowering freight rates. And then they talk about trade and transportation and other things specific to ag work. So I think my answer is the ag committee's been here for 131 years. So Mike, thank you for being our leader for, well, not just the last couple of years. We appreciate that.
This
so
feels like 100.
It only, for you, this last year probably has. So we're glad you're with us. Well, good morning, and we're here to talk about our Ag Celebration Week. So we're taking the week to have an opportunity to lift those up, and it feels like in Billings we're about 1 degree of separation from everybody in this industry. Either you are in it directly, you know somebody in it, or your company will benefit from that. If nothing else, at least I think everybody pretty much eats food and you benefit from the ag industry. So there is a lot to celebrate. We focus on awareness and participation of the region's #1 industry. The week offers insights into how the agriculture industry affects our daily lives and honors those hardworking individuals that contribute and support agriculture. The event, the week-long event, is filled with opportunities to learn about the ag industry, support local ag business, and even win some prizes, right, Melissa? So, couldn't happen, of course, without those people and businesses who support, get behind the ag industry, and are continual leaders in this work. And of course, Yellowstone Valley Electric Co-op, Brandon, Jennifer, and your team are always incredible supporters of our ag work, so we're very thankful for all you do there. Stockman Bank, Eide Bailey, Northwest Farm Credit Services, KGHL. We appreciate all of their support in allowing us to provide this information and share the great stuff that the ag community does in our community, with our community. It's been a long-standing tradition to convene ag producers, agribusinesses, and the business community at our annual ag banquet in January. So we've got the week, and then we end the week with a celebration of the banquet at Metro Park. Years past, we've had 800-900 people. I think we're expecting significantly less than that by design. So we're hoping for 600 to make sure that everybody's health and safety is accounted for with social distancing, masks, hand sanitizers, and all those important elements that we're all dealing with these days. So this year's Ag Celebration Banquet, to close out our week-long celebration, is going to be Friday, January 28th at 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Metro Park Pavilion. Guests are going to hear from industry experts on different aspects of agriculture in our region, celebrate and network, and have the opportunity to honor Bill Dutcher, our 2021 Billings Chamber Award of Agriculture Excellence recipient. And it is our privilege, as always, to partner with a number of local businesses beyond the week, but just for that night, to provide this celebration event. Again, Yellowstone Valley Electric as our title, thank you. Stockman Bank, Northwest Farm Credit Services, Eide Bailey, C&B Operations, Molson Coors, AgroLiquid, Ace Hardware, Agra Industries, Western Ranch Supply, Hubbard Feeds, Littlehorn State Bank, Rivera Bank, Nutralix, Color 8, KGHL. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the chair of our Ag Committee, the leader of our group who has done so much this past year to not only, I think, bring the industry together and on a regular basis for our monthly meetings, provide a lot of value to our community specific to ag, but Mike has really helped us navigate the development of a very strong strategic plan for the ag world. So Mike, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Good morning, everybody.
So as the chairman of the Ag Committee, we recently had a strategic planning. Jack helped a bunch on that, and our vice chairman helped a bunch, Kelly Cooley. And we basically came up with 3 goals in mind. The first goal basically is to inform and educate the members of the community of the value of agriculture. You know, realizing that Billings is the economic and medical hub for eastern Montana and northern Wyoming, we really realize that, you know, the importance of agriculture that it plays for Billings and throughout that area that we just talked about. You know, agriculture is a $3 to $4 billion a year industry. You know, the #1 industry in Montana. The next biggest is about 1 billion. So that just kind of gives you an idea of the value of agriculture for Montana. So we really feel it's important to make sure that the Billings community and downtown businesses understand the value of agriculture. Whether you're a farm implement dealership, whether you're a car dealership, whether you're a hotel operation, agriculture normally plays a role somehow in the economic dollars that come into Billings. Second, we want to continue to advocate for issues that relate to agriculture. Each year, agriculture faces lots of risks in the production of food. And 2021 was probably as tough a year as ever it has been for agriculture, with probably being the driest on record. We had a number of wildfires throughout south central and north central Montana. We had the worst hay crop since 1988. And so the ever increasing risks associated with weather, plus the increase in input costs it takes to put out a bushel of wheat or a pound of beef, it just makes the risk of being in agriculture that much stronger, that much tougher to deal with, as I'm sure Jess would testify. So consequently, Billings Chamber is committed to making sure through the Ag Committee that we raise awareness of these risks, and that if there's any issues that involve agriculture, and we can help out legislatively or just through promotion of the awareness of those issues, whether it's transportation costs, whether it's production costs, whether it's input costs, all those risks that are involved, that we are there to help out agriculture. We want the ag community to know that. And John, I just really appreciate the fact that the Billings Chamber has stepped up and promoted and valued agriculture. It's not always common that a chamber does that, and I think it's really impressive that the Billings Chamber has stepped up, and since for the past 2-3 years had this Ag Appreciation Banquet, even though we didn't have it last year, and had this Ag Appreciation Week. I want the ag community to understand it takes a lot of work to put this together, a lot of work by the staff, funding and dedication. And please, ag community, if you're listening to this or watching this, please appreciate that, because you know it's invaluable that the Billings Chamber is stepping up to do this. Finally, we want to promote the Chamber's ag events. We meet monthly and talk about all issues, whether it's downtown Billings issues or ag issues. We've had everything from city council members to USDA to politicians coming and speaking. You're more than invited to be there. We meet the first Friday of every month, and so all you have to do is contact the chamber office, find out where we're going to meet that week or that month and what time, and you're more than welcome. You don't have to be a member to come and visit. You can be a visitor, and if you decide to attend more often, we'll have you become a chamber member, of course, and be a part of our ag committee. We also sponsor breakfast events such as the Nile and the Sugar Beet Symposium. Happy to do that and provide that service. It's usually a volunteer basis where many members of the ag committee provide that service. We also have the Ag Tour, which is just a great event that the chamber puts on. And that's something I look forward to every year. It's not only something that, you know, it provides a lot of information for us as ag producers, but I get a lot of value on the stops that we make around in and about Billings as well. So I think that's really a good item for anybody that wants to get to know more about agriculture and how it affects Billings. And of course, the Ag Appreciation Week, John touched about that, what we're having for the banquet and how that caps it off Friday night. I did want to put in a little bit of a plug for that panel. The 3 panel members is Joe Lackman. He's the Montana State FFA president. I actually was on that selection committee. He's a young man from Forsyth, and I was one of the people that had the chance to nominate and have him be the president for this year's state FFA. Really, really impressive, and he'll be a valuable member of that panel. Heather Fryer from the Montana Beef Council and Allison from the Montana Grain Growers Association fill out that panel. And I think that'll be really informative, and I think people will really enjoy listening to that, on top of all the other items that will go with that banquet. Just lots of good camaraderie, lots of a chance to meet people that you don't always get to see. And so, yes, again, Billings Chamber, thank you for all the work you're putting on this week, and the fact that you're recognizing ag and the importance of ag. You know, as a producer and a banker, I really do appreciate that, John, so thank you. Just is going like this.
Great.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce our Billings Mayor, Bill Cole. Bill, you're doing awesome. I really appreciate all that you're doing for Billings, and glad to have you here today.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, and thank you to the Billings Chamber for 130 years of supporting agriculture, and John was there at the beginning. I think he started it, something like that. And as John said, if most of us come from an ag family, or we're part of a business that benefits directly from the ag industry, or we eat. And if you don't have an ag background, and if you don't have a business that benefits directly from the ag industry, and if you don't eat, you've at least seen Yellowstone, so you understand the ag industry. Sure. That's a great documentary, by the way. Everything's 100% accurate in that. Well, it's my privilege today to read a proclamation to recognize the significance of the ag industry in Billings, certainly, but Yellowstone County, our state, and nationally. And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas agriculture is Montana's #1 industry, contributing over $4.4 billion to the state's economy, and whereas agriculture is also the leading industry in Yellowstone County, with every dollar spent in agriculture generating an additional $3.41 return in other sectors of the county's economy. And whereas agriculture in Yellowstone County creates an additional 14 jobs for every 10 jobs on local farms and ranches, and whereas agriculture's importance is recognized by the Billings Chamber of Commerce and the Chamber's Ag Committee that seek to educate both the Chamber's membership and the community at large regarding issues and challenges relating to agriculture. And whereas the Billings Chamber of Commerce has been the voice of the business community in the greater Billings area for more than 100 years, 130 plus years we know, and has over 1,100 businesses with more than 13,000 employees. And whereas the Chamber has a long-standing and proud tradition of honoring the agricultural industry in Yellowstone County, and whereas agriculture is once again being honored by the Billings Chamber of Commerce through its Ag Celebration Week from January 24 to January 28, 2022, and the annual Ag Appreciation Celebration Banquet is on Friday, January 28, 2022. Now therefore, I, William Cole, Mayor of Billings, Montana, do hereby proclaim the last full week of January to be Billings Chamber of Commerce Ag Celebration Week in Billings, and urge all citizens to support the agricultural industry and participate in the Chamber's Ag Celebration Week events. Signed, William Cole.